in the far reaches of the Imperium's Ultima Segmentum, the hive world of Black Reach and its neighbouring planets came under assault from a relentless Ork WAAAGH. The savage onslaught was led by the fearsome Ork warlord Zanzag of the Goths clan in the year 855 of Millennium 41. Although Black Reach might appear to hold little strategic value, it was in fact a critical point within the realm of Ultramar. Black Reach is encircled by a treacherous series of asteroid belts, so dense that, if ever infested by Xenos, the eradication of such a threat could take centuries. The asteroid belt's magnetic properties further complicated matters, making it extremely difficult to establish contact with the outreaching systems, let alone track the movements of armies or their commanders. Here, an alien invasion could be concealed, growing undetected until the moment was ripe to strike at the very heart of the Ultramarines' domain. The situation grew dire when all three planets within the Black Reach system succumbed to the surging Ork WAAAGH, which tore into real space through Jorgen's Eye, a wormhole believed to be connected to the ancient Eldari webway in the Vidar sector. How the Orks with their primitive technology managed such an extraordinary feat of interstellar navigation remains a mystery. The Greenskin forces descended upon Black Reach with such alarming speed that these questions were set aside by the Ultramarines' high command on WAAAGH as they prepared for the inevitable conflict. When the fleet's long-range Auspex arrays confirmed the astropath's dire warnings, the warriors of Ultramar were left with no choice. Devoid of precise intelligence regarding the size or disposition of the enemy, the Adeptus Astartes had to engage the invaders on Black Reach itself. With no reinforcements available, it fell to them alone to annihilate every Ork before the system was overwhelmed by the virulent spread of the Greenskins. Owing to the encroaching Tyranid hive fleets on the eastern fringe of Ultramar, only the Ultramarines' second company was available and dispatched to confront the Ork menace. Captain Cato Sicarius, a commander of unparalleled skill and rising renown within his chapter, was charged with leading a detachment of Ultramarines to the surface of Black Reach. His mission: to support the beleaguered Imperial forces and eliminate the Ork Warboss responsible for the invasion. Sicarius swore that his men would succeed, provided they received full planet strike support from the Imperial Navy. His audacious plan called for a devastating orbital bombardment of melter and plasma warheads to precede the Ultramarines' assault. Sicarius himself would descend to the battlefield aboard his personal Thunderhawk gunship, the Gladius. Sicarius aimed to locate the most disciplined Ork formations amidst the chaos of the bombardment, reasoning that the Warboss would be at the heart of those forces. It was here that he intended to land, confront and execute the Warboss, striking a decisive blow against the invasion. Though some of his sergeants harboured doubts about the feasibility of such a bold strategy, the Ultramarines were known for their bravery, even in the face of overwhelming odds. As battle hymns filled the air and weapons were readied, the strike was launched, with the Ultramarines' resolve as their greatest weapon. Upon the embattled world of Black Reach, a relentless orbital bombardment rained down from the strike cruiser Valen's Revenge, devastating the ranks of the Greenskin invaders. Determined to ensure the demise of the cunning warboss Zanzag by slaying him personally outside the walls of Gospora Hive, Captain Sicarius led a Thunderhawk assault directly upon the Ork leader's position. At his command were a full tactical squad and the legendary Terminators of Squad Helios, a small but formidable force. The yellow sands outside Gospora Hive were soon stained green with the sickly blood of the Orks. Explosive warheads tore through the horde as the Orks scrambled for cover, but still a determined group of Greenskins advanced on the Imperial bastions as though the bombardment were merely a passing storm. Sicarius' keen tactical mind swiftly pinpointed the location of the Warboss Zanzag and his boys, prompting the order to land the Thunderhawk and engage. As the surrounding landscape was consumed by the fury of orbital fire, Sicarius and Zanzag clashed, blade to blade, in the very heart of the maelstrom. Despite his best efforts, Zanzag managed to escape the battle at WAAAGH, leaving both sides to recover from their brutal encounter. With Sicarius and the majority of his strike force engaged elsewhere, the Orks renewed their assault on the beleaguered Hive City. However, Sicarius had anticipated such a move and had strategically placed thunderfire cannons in defensive positions around WAAAGH. These powerful weapons cut down waves of Orks with ruthless efficiency. As Sicarius continued his hunt for the elusive Warboss, a distress call came in from the desperate Imperial defenders of WAAAGH. Torn between his vow to eliminate Zanzag and his duty to protect the Imperial citizens, Sicarius made the difficult decision to temporarily abandon his pursuit and bolster the beleaguered Planetary Defense Force garrison. With no trace of Zanzag's retreat, Sicarius entrusted Scout Sergeant Tellian and 2 squads of Scout Marines with the task of tracking down the Warboss's hidden lair. Tellian, ever the patient hunter, waited for Zanzag's looters to emerge, then discreetly placed a tracer beacon on their ramshackle vehicle as it returned to base. Armed with the coordinates of the Ork stronghold, the Ultramarines prepared to launch a full-scale assault on Zanzag's position. The Orks had no warning until the Thunderhawk Gladius burst through the waterfall in the mouth of their lair, guns blazing, the deafening roar of its mighty weapon systems echoing throughout the rocky underground chambers. Having inflicted devastating casualties upon the Warboss's forces, Captain Sicarius was driven by one singular purpose: to end the Warboss's reign of terror once and for all. As the Ultramarines fought their way out of Zanzag's underground lair, they discovered that the cunning Ork leader had fled into the tunnels at the rear of the cavern. Without hesitation, they plunged into the darkened passages in hot pursuit. Though initially separated, Sicarius and his squad soon regrouped with the Terminators of Squad Helios. With unwavering confidence, Sicarius took his place at the vanguard, leading his force through the labyrinthine tunnels. As they emerged from the minehead, Sicarius spotted Zanzag and his boys lumbering towards their position. The Warboss, sensing the sweet taste of freedom, was about to be thwarted. The remaining Ultramarines, having pursued relentlessly, closed in and surrounded the Ork leader. In the ensuing battle, there could be only one victor. The maddened Orks, knowing their fate, prepared to sell their lives dearly. After hours of brutal and bloody fighting, Zanzag was finally brought down. Yet the victory came at a steep price. The Second Company suffered the loss of 12 Space Marines and 1 valiant Terminator. With the death of the Ork Warboss, Sicarius wasted no time in launching a series of precise, lightning strikes that shattered the remnants of the WAAAGH, crippling the Greenskins' ability to wage war. As expected, chaos and infighting erupted amongst the Ork ranks as other nobs vied for control of the leaderless horde. But without the unifying presence of a powerful warboss, the Orks fell into complete disarray. Having achieved their primary objective, Captain Sicarius and his Ultramarines prepared to depart from Black Reach. The planet, though scarred by war, was now secure enough for the local Imperial Guard and Planetary Defense Forces to take over, hunting down the remaining pockets of greenskin resistance and restoring order to the Reach.